Enter Hyakkimaru. A baby is born, a fresh perspective to breathe new life into the world. As a sign of such existence, it cries. The firstborn plays a crucial role for the family, especially if you're the lord of the land. This boy should have a life much easier than the average child, with a lot better prospects and a brighter future than most. Well, should've. Sometime before the birth of his first son, Lord Daigo made a decision to make a deal with demons. For a more prosperous land and security over his domain, he offered up anything that belonged to him. Desperately saying, "Prayers can too easily go unanswered. I seek a bargain." With the stroke of demonic lightning crashing down, 12 demons came to terms with Daigo, marking him with an X on his forehead, forever labeling him as one who made a pact with demons. Although the demon gods did not take anything from Daigo at that moment, it was only after Hyakkimaru asserted his existence in the world that very same demonic lightning came crashing down once more. But the outcome this time would be much more devastating. It sought to devour the essence of life from the newborn. They managed to silence Hyakkimaru, as well as remove many body parts and even his skin. But the final demon failed to extinguish that essence of life. By the prayers of a loving mother who reached the goddess of mercy through divine intervention, these events, and the will to reclaim one's humanity, put our main character on a path headed to hell for heaven's sake. This is Dororo, created by the godfather of manga Osamu Tezuka in 1967. And I'm Tiberius. Really quick, I just wanted to remind you to like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Try and drink some water, and always say no to crack. Enjoy. This 58-year-old story has been told many different times and in many different ways, but today I'm focused on the MAPPA adaptation that came out in 2019. Our story follows Dororo and Hyakkimaru, and the hero of this story may not actually be the shonen hero you are used to. Hyakkimaru exemplifies things aren't always black and white in life. This show is morally gray and steeped in it. I personally love and side with Hyakkimaru, but I can also see the beauty in his brother Tohomaru's character. We will talk about him a little later, but first I want to look at the first few body parts Hyakkimaru retrieved on his journey. And I won't be going over every body part, so keep that in mind. Just overall, the most important thing is the superpower we have in common with Hyakkimaru, and that's our humanity. The first thing we as viewers see him regain is his skin. Next would be his nervous system and the sensation of touch, which comes at a detriment to him as a fighter now that he has flesh to cut and burn, as well as the ability to feel pain. The truth is, however, that is an integral part of being human, and it's also important for him to regain this back so early in the story. It would be hard to fully engage or buy into him as a character as the story progresses if he was something akin to a doll meant for killing, or like the perfect killing machine, not being able to feel pain. We need to see the ups and downs of his journey. And honestly, I thought it was kind of refreshing to see a shonen main character get weaker to some capacity as his journey progresses. The truth remains though, Hyakkimaru is not fighting to become the strongest or best fighter. He is fighting for his humanity. Next up, we get a flashback and we see when he was younger as he kills a demon in front of Jukai, who was basically like his guardian and who made the prosthetics for him, kill a demon and regain one of his actual legs. It's important to note that one theme of this show is the strength of a mother's love. Hyakkimaru refers to Jukai as mother at one point, and we know from early on in Jukai and Hyakkimaru's relationship, there was a point where Jukai questioned if he was doing the right thing with Hyakkimaru, and this moment of seeing Hyakkimaru regrow his leg when he killed the demon meant Hyakkimaru would use his power to kill demons and regrow or regain the body parts that were stolen from him. He regrows his ears, which allows him to hear the world for the first time, and that adversity was a bit too much to handle for Hyakkimaru at first. That was until he found the soothing sound of Mio singing on the riverbank. Her soft, angelic, but almost damaged voice resonated with Hyakkimaru, making it much easier for him to adapt to the adversity of hearing the world for the first time. Mio's village was destroyed and ransacked by the war, resulting in her as well as the remaining children losing everything, even some of them losing parts of their bodies. But her being a stand-up person gave all of herself to protect, feed, and take care of the remaining war orphans. And unfortunately, I do mean she gave all of herself. In order for her to try and regain the things that her and the children lost because of the war, her only option is to sell her body to the soldiers at night. Money, food, medicine, anything that she may need to try and win back their destiny, win back their life. She is fighting against all odds as well to try and regain her humanity back. But she doesn't turn Hyakkimaru away even though they have so little and going through the adversity they're going through. And she helps him in more ways than one. Hyakkimaru is appreciative. In fact, he's in love. His heart's moved. But of course, there's a demon god that needs to be slain and an impatient Hyakkimaru. This will cost him in the upcoming battle. So as he regained his voice, he lost his good leg and that demon god got a piece of Hyakkimaru back, which basically just restarted the event. He does end up regaining that leg, but in exchange, he lost a part of himself. Life is cruel for Hyakkimaru. He is someone with an indomitable spirit. He is driven, never quitting, even though the chips were stacked against him from the very start. And knowing of his origin and how he exhibits those traits, you would think life would throw him a bone. But that's not the case in this story. He regained his ears so he could hear Mio sing, regained his skin and nervous system so he could feel her touch, and regained his voice so he could scream. The weight of this moment was almost too much for Hyakkimaru. As he cries out his first word, Mio, he was deeply connected to her. This moment killed me. We see Hyakkimaru get pushed to the brink of throwing his humanity away. As badass as this moment is, it hurts to see Hyakkimaru go through this kind of pain. Even though he's fought demon gods up until this point, this hurts the worst. Dororo was phenomenal at this very moment. Noticing Mio had the right seeds, meaning she won. She didn't lose, so Hyakkimaru can't lose either. She reclaimed herself back. We have to remember his humanity is on the line here. And it's a tough battle he fights every day. To no fault of his own, might I add. Hyakkimaru's humanity is challenged throughout this story. And when he needed it most, he was lucky to have a benevolent woman for a mother. She truly loved Hyakkimaru, and the guilt she carries for what happened would shackle her to the past forever, not being able to look forward, which results in her own follies as a mother with her new child Tohomaru, Hyakkimaru's little brother. Never being able to fully look at and acknowledge her youngest son caused a disconnect with them two. She wasn't evil or spiteful towards Tohomaru, but she also just didn't love him or acknowledge him like he needed her to. So of course, that just meant he got closer with Daigo, his father. And we know Daigo has problematic views and a twisted view of the world. Even so, I really like Tohomaru. I don't think his character holds up great as a standalone character, but his dynamic with Hyakkimaru was beautiful. He is a dutiful son, and early in the story he seems to have the makings of a great leader. He is willing to sacrifice personal emotions for what he sees as his duty to the land and its people. Which is pretty funny when you think about the fact our main character plays a more selfish, rebellious role. Hyakkimaru embodies individual justice and personal identity. Tohomaru embodies the collective good. His eventual physical transformation, gaining Hyakkimaru's stolen eyes, symbolizes his forced evolution into something monstrous, paralleling the twisted sacrifices made by his family. He veered from his path because he bought into his dad's bullshit and truly thought killing his brother was for the best of the people of his land. That being said, I do believe he was somewhat jealous of Hyakkimaru, even though he was born with everything Hyakkimaru didn't have. The one thing he wanted most, his mother, She couldn't let go of the traumatic events of Hyakkimaru's birth. Those things in his life caused him to seek power, leading him to become a demon. But that didn't stop his mother from accepting him in the end. As he accepts Hyakkimaru as the winner, he overcomes the demonic pull to rip his own eyes out to return them to Hyakkimaru. A father offered the demons his firstborn son in exchange for power. A mother gave up her life so she could fully accept her forsaken son and love him as the castle came crashing down on them. At the end of the road, Hyakkimaru acknowledged his mom and brother. And I think the big difference between Tahomaru and Hyakkimaru in terms of fighting and who came out the winner was the fact that Hyakkimaru was fighting for his humanity. In the face of adversity, we persevere. That's our greatest strength. That's the superpower we are all born with. Hyakkimaru has now reclaimed what was taken from him. Something akin to being a cold killing machine has now turned into a human being who fought literal hell to reclaim his soul. All he can do is move forward, paving the way for what living means to him now, which he, like us, can only do by taking it day by day and try to do our best to make the most of the days that we are given. It's not about the things that you have or don't have. It's about the opportunity you are given because you woke up today. Life is beautiful and humanity is our superpower. Thanks for watching. I'm Tiberius. Make sure to like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate the support. And remember, stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.